Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'd like to welcome you to our webinar to set the course for the TrueNorth Award for Certification Excellence. And in this webinar, we will be helping you to explore the process to recognize excellence in perioperative certification. And with me is Jim Stavinsky, who is the CEO of CCI. And I am Lisa Rosenfield, and I am the Special Projects and Partnerships Lead, and I'm also the True North Liaison. So Jim and I will be with you during this webinar to explain the process and answer any questions that you may have. Our objectives today are to review the components and the scoring of the application, to provide you with an overview of the award, the application, and the evaluation processes, and also to discuss common questions related to completing a TrueNorth application. Just for some background information, CCI's mission statement is that we promote certifications and continuous professional development, which drives safe, quality patient care. And our vision statement is that we are a growing community of lifelong learners for whom CCI is a catalyst and integral partner. And our DEI statement reflects that CCI leadership, management, and governing bodies jointly support the fair treatment and dignity of all human beings. The certifying organization does not discriminate against its stakeholders, shareholders, including applicants, certificates, volunteers, or employees, as to age, sex, race, religion, national origin, ethnicity, disability, marital status, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, or any other basis prohibited by applicable law. And just a few details. We are recording the webinar, and we will post it on the TrueNorth tab of the CCI website next week. We will answer your questions at the end of the webinar, but if you need additional information after this webinar is over, please contact me, Lisa Rosenfield, and my email is lrosenfield@cc-institute.org, and my direct phone number is 303-368-6722. So in terms of an overview for the TrueNorth Award, it was developed with the purpose of recognizing facilities which use certification as a true north to guide their perioperative nursing staff to be lifelong learners, along with being models of competent practice and advocates for excellence in patient safety. And when facilities earn the TrueNorth Award, they have exhibited the highest standards in perioperative certification excellence. And tied into that, certification in many ways acts as a compass, directing the nurse's clinical practice toward nationally accepted standards. It allows nurses to demonstrate their mastery of knowledge, and registered nurses who hold CCI's credentials, as well as facilities that support their nurses' certification goals, demonstrate their commitment to improving patient outcomes. And that is the foundation of the TrueNorth Award. In terms of eligibility, healthcare organizations are eligible if they have CNOR, CSSM, CNAMB, CNSCP, or NPDABC certified nurses, or they have nurses who are certified as members and or representatives, and they're eligible to apply for the award. The organizations can include, but are not limited to, hospitals and health systems, surgical services departments, ambulatory surgery centers, units or divisions of larger organizations, and also self-nominations are eligible. They are ineligible if they employ any member of the CCI Board of Directors or CCI staff. In terms of selection, there is an independent selection committee, which is appointed by the president of the CCI Board of Directors, and they will review the applications and choose the award recipients. All awards are conferred at the sole discretion of CCI, and CCI reserves the right to substitute awards. Recipients will waive all possible legal claims against CCI arising from the selection of the awards and the use of the award, as well as the receipt of the award. And all nominations and supporting materials will be the property of CCI. The award components consist of a commemorative plaque, 5 cert or recert vouchers to be distributed by the winning organization, an on-site presentation by CCI and someone from the CCI Board of Directors, which is generally the president, and a $1,500 allotment for a celebratory reception to be held in conjunction with the award presentation, and then various CCI communication initiatives to include a press release announcing the True North winner. And we also post the True North winners each year on our website. The evaluation criteria will be divided into specific categories, which we'll discuss in a bit. And each of these criteria categories demonstrate how an organization advances the cause of perioperative specialty nursing certification. And as I mentioned earlier, the receipt of this award will have demonstrated consistent history of implementing activities and encourage, support, and reward professional perioperative registered nurses in achieving CNOR, CSSM, CNAMB, CNSCP, CFPA, and NPDAB certification. I'm just going to stop for a moment and ask if all of the participants could please mute themselves. Hello, just as a reminder, if you could please mute yourself if you are listening, so we don't have any background noise. Thank you. Okay, so some important dates to review are October 1st, because that's when the online applications open. November 30th is when they close. And as a note, those submissions are due by 11:59 p.m. because at midnight on December 1st, the application will no longer be available. And then the winners will be notified in Q1 of 2023, and the applicants who did not win will also be notified. And while we're speaking about dates, an important thing to remember is that all activities described in the application must fall within the time frame of January 1st of 2020 through November 30th of 2022. In terms of the categories, I'm going to do a quick overview here, and then I'm going to hand it over to Jim to discuss in more detail each section. Category 1 reflects the 5 elements of nursing specialty certification excellence. It is worth 30 points, and it revolves around a description and documentation of evidence about how each of these 5 elements is demonstrated. Category 2 reflects certification ratios for a value of 10 points, and it reflects a numerical reflection of the number of FTE perioperative nurses who are eligible to be certified as compared to the number who are certified. Category 3 reflects documentation of leadership support. It is worth 10 points, and it reflects letters from the CNO and the Director of Surgical Services or Manager to describe the facility support for certification. And Category 4 reflects a narrative to address the impact of certification, and that is 50 points. And it documents and describes the accomplishments and achievements to include citations of specific examples. And again, all of the activities and accomplishments listed in the application must happen between January 1st of 2020 and November 30th of 2022. All right, I'm going to hand it over to Jim now, and he is going to discuss each component of each category. So Jim, I'm handing it over to you.
Lisa?
Yes.
You can advance my slides then on my cue?
Yes.
All right. So thanks, Lisa, for the introduction. I'm Jim Stabinsky. I have the middle part of the presentation. I would like to discuss the structure, the elements, because we have reorganized, starting this year, the True North, the elements, the components. Previously, we just numbered these categories. Now we've given them titles. So your application, as you can see at the bottom, we have now taken all of the pieces of True North and put them into what we call 5 major areas, the elements. I'm going to talk about each one in detail, but element 1 is the structure. How the facility supports nurses in certification. Element 2 is recognition, the acknowledgement and support that is given to certified employees. Element 3 is professional engagement, how the facility promotes internal professional development activities. Element 4 is dissemination, the outreach and dissemination activities that extend beyond the facility, because all of these best practices in your work will have much more value if it goes beyond your facility. And then finally, volunteer service, the participation of the certified nurses in the community and beyond. So let's talk about each one of these elements in turn. So the first element is structure. This category on your application will have a 500-word limit. The focus is how you acknowledge and support the work of certified employees, no matter what certification they hold. Some possible examples, and we'll do the same thing for each element. There's a list here of the bullet points of the things that fit under this category, under structure. Things like reimbursement for prep courses or exam fees, that you provide CE to support recertification activities, these sorts of things. I won't read the whole list. These are examples. It is not meant to be an inclusive list, and on the scoring rubric, which is available to everyone that submits, we give you the total list of everything that should be categorized here. But for now, we just show you some examples under structure. So let's go to element 2. Recognition. The focus here is the acknowledgement and support of certified employees. These are recognition type activities. Some possible examples: wall plaques listing your certified nurses, newsletters where you list the newly certified nurses or all nurses who are certified, that you publicize the certification rate for the employees. And again, in this category, you have a 500-word limit to list all these things. One bit of advice: you do not, when you do your write-up, you don't need to use complete sentences. If you can best cover this by using bullet points and then stay within the word limit, that is perfectly acceptable and it works well. Just bear in mind that we do actually use the word limit. So once you hit the 500-word limit, once you hit that 500-word limit, it will be truncated. Everything after word 500 is gone. So if your intent is to sneak in a few extra words because it looks pretty close, we do actually count them, we truncate it, and everything after the 500th word, that's all the judges will see. Lisa, let's go on to element 3. This is professional engagement. Here we're looking at how you promote the internal professional development activities that are connected and support certification. So some examples here, and again, all of the things that might fit here that we've seen previously are on the scoring rubric, but a selection here: that you participate in the CCI Take 2 program, that you've submitted for TrueNorth previously, you have a certification coach. These are all examples. And we have many others on the scoring rubric. Lisa, let's go to element 4. So dissemination. We believe strongly in dissemination. This is where 6 points out of the total 100 that'll be scored on the application. And so under each of these elements, there is a point total. And so for element 4, it counts 6 points. This is the outreach and dissemination beyond the facility. Some examples here: that you reimburse for attendance at professional meetings, you support research activity, the staff in the period, the 3-year period that's covered under this award, that you publish professional publications, you present at professional meetings. Lisa, let's stay in element 4 for just a moment here, but a point. Lisa will share the time period that's covered by this award period. There's no need to list. If you had publications at ARN Surgical or in the ARN Journal, or you presented at ARN Surgical Conference and Expo in 2012, there's no need to enter those because there will be no points awarded. You can only list the activities that happened within the 3-year period leading up to this award, and Lisa will go over that again. Lisa, let's go on to element 5, volunteer service. This is a new category. It's worth 6 points, and we have separated this out this year. What we find is often facilities that are applying for TrueNorth often have a lot of this type of activity. So this is participation in volunteer service in the community and beyond. These could be mission trips, and we see a lot of that. Things like Operation Smile, the Project Cure trips, all of those count. What also counts here is volunteer work done on the CCI test development committees, and also volunteer service with your ARN chapter, the ARN national or regional committees, the Texas Council of Operating Room Nurses could be counted here. Community service, mission trips, all of that is under volunteer service. Lisa, let's go to the next slide. So these are the other categories that are covered on your application. So here we have the certification ratio. The good news here is this formula is actually much easier than it has been in years past. You'll be asked to put in demographic information, and what you'll need to gather for your application: how many FTE are in your department. And that could be, an example, the last OR that I managed, it was 71.2. This is not the total number of nurses that work in your department. We have to standardize the formula. So it's a total FTE of perioperative nursing staff that's being counted in this unit, this department, this facility that you're writing for. So relatively simple. The total number of perioperative nursing staff, and then that is divided by the total number of certified staff, people eligible to be certified. So if they're working in your department, perioperative nurse educator, manager, all of them are eligible for one certification or another from CCI. You report those numbers, we do the ratio, and then that's entered into a formula. You just give us the numbers, we take it from there. It's basically the total number divided by the total number the total number certified divided by the total number eligible for certification. Anyone who has completed orientation is eligible for a CCI exam. If they have completed orientation, they can do CFPN. If they have 2 or more years of working in the OR, then they're eligible for other certifications. But any perioperative nurse who has finished orientation is eligible for CFPN. So the formula is pretty simple. Number 1, for A, the total number of FTE on staff. Number 2, is the total number of those FTEs who are certified. And then report those numbers and we do the division. If they have completed orientation, they're eligible. So everyone in your department that is eligible, who has completed orientation, is eligible. And then it's only a matter of finding out who is certified and reporting those numbers to us. We frequently get questions about this. Lisa and I can help you. Call Lisa, talk to her about your numbers. She'll help you out. All right, Lisa, let's go on. So another category is we will ask you for 2 letters of support, endorsement from leaders in perioperative services. One from the chief nursing officer, the second from the manager or director of surgical services. These are the things that should be included. Evidence of supportive certification, inclusion of specific examples. You can help them to write this, but do spell check it. Make sure it's nice, neat, legible, run it through spell check, and then each of these letters must be signed. These are the things that we check for, and they should only speak to activities, achievements for the period January 1st of 2020 through November 30th of 2022. So 2 letters, 5 points each. There is a scoring rubric. We do check them for spelling and grammar. If you meet all those components, 2 letters, 5 points each, a total of 10 points toward the 100-point total. Here is where the biggest parts of the points are. The quality of this write-up will make or break your application. So in your documentation, 50 points is a narrative, the impact of certification. What we're looking for in these sections are, this is the breakdown at the bottom on the scoring. 20 points will be on the focus of the documentation and citing specific examples. Another 20 points is the impact of the accomplishments and achievements. And then finally, 10 points for the quality of the writing. All of this is covered under the scoring rubric. Your guide on how to write this narrative is you need to answer the questions: how are certified nurses applying their knowledge and expertise to affect positive change in patient and nursing outcomes? What the reviewers are looking for is the answer to the question, so what? You have all these accomplishments, attend all these meetings. What did you accomplish? So it's not just membership in an organization, going to meetings, doing research. It's what impact did that have? So your description should address the process, the implementation methods, and the results that you achieved as a result of the work of certified nurses. The emphasis here is on measurable outcomes. Facts and figures help, and trends and comparisons, internal and external benchmarks will help to substantiate your achievement. Lisa, if I remember correctly, we're looking for a minimum of 4 specific examples. Is that correct?
Yes, and that rubric is also on the TrueNorth section of the CCI website so that people can see the exact breakdown.
We cover how you should write, but what you're looking for is the answer to the question of so what? What does it matter for all the work that you're doing, and how does that impact nursing sensitive outcomes, patient outcomes, and nursing outcomes? All right, Lisa, let's go on to the next slide. So some examples that you can cover in this narrative: the fact that you have a CCI champion, and perhaps how you've upped your certification rate, certified nurses' involvement with policy development, education, and how those are integrated with staff to change patient outcomes. Results of employee engagement surveys in relationship to certification and perhaps your accreditation processes with groups like Joint Commission or the ANCC magnet recognition. How certified nurses share information to improve processes, and how the circle of learning spirals up in a positive way to affect patient and nursing outcomes. How certified nurses are involved in interdisciplinary collaboration, how certified nurses participate in facility or system level committees, and what impact those committees have. And remember, it is not just participation, or what has been accomplished that should be documented. Remember too here that we are only speaking about committee service, dissemination, activities that have happened in the period January 1st of 2020 through November 30th of 2022. Let's go on, Lisa, to the next slide. And I believe this is where you take it up, Lisa.
Yes, I'm going to take it back now. Thank you, Jim. And in terms of the steps of the application process, you can review the instructions and the scoring rubrics, which are in the TrueNorth section of the CCI website. Here is the link, and that will lay out all of the details. And what we encourage you to do is to look at the scoring rubrics for each category and section, because that will lay out exactly what the judges will be looking at when they're reviewing your application. So the more of those items that you can include in your application, the more the judges will see that you have aligned with the rubric and done the necessary actions and activities. We recommend that you gather your letters of support ahead of time. And as a note for those, while both letters are addressing the facility support for certification, they should not be carbon copies of each other. They still need to be different letters, even if they address some similar types of facility support activities, etc. They should not be carbon copies that are just signed by two different people. And as Jim mentioned earlier, definitely the writing, the quality of writing, the spelling, the punctuation, the grammar, all of those matter. So that's worth paying attention to as well. And then, of course, you complete your online application versus via the TrueNorth section of the website. And I put the link up above, but it's also, if you scroll down on our website on the landing page, there's an About Us section on the homepage. And then you can scroll down and get to the TrueNorth landing page, and that will have all the information you need. And one suggestion that Jim and I do recommend to applicants is that to write your narrative in a separate document, and then you can move it around, play with it, ensure that you're adhering to the word count, etc. Then when you're ready and you're happy with it, then you copy and paste it into the application, because it's difficult to be making all of those changes directly in the application. So it's not a requirement that you do that, but we have found that people have success when they do that. So it's just something that we recommend. And then also we recommend using bullet points, because that will help with the word count and be much more succinct for the judges to read, not in the letters of support. Those are definitely not bullet points, but in the application itself, it will save you some words if you utilize some bullet points. Okay, and again, here's my email and my phone number. And please feel free to reach out to me with any questions you have, either before you begin the application or while you're doing the application. While I can't do it for you, I am happy to help guide you, provide some information, and help you focus so that you can be as successful as possible. And Jim is also very good at that. So the two of us can absolutely help you. If you reach out and you need some help, we're happy to do it. And if you go to the TrueNorth landing page of the CCI website, you will also find that there is a place that you can sign up to be notified when applications open. So if you want to help keep it on your radar, you can just sign up, and then you'll get an automated email to remind you that applications are in fact open. And this concludes the presentation that Jim and I have. I did want to open it up and see if anybody attending has any questions. No? Okay, well, a recording of this webinar will also be available on our website next week. And as I mentioned, as Jim mentioned as well, please do check the landing page of the CCI website, the True North section, and you will be able to get all the information you need about details, due dates, application periods, rubrics, and contact information. So thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to receiving your application. Bye.